Today, I'm going to talk about week 1 of my coding bootcamp journey. If you've watched my intro video and why I've decided to learn to code, please go back and watch those videos. I'll tag those there. But we're going to get into the kind of meat and potatoes of week 1. So week 1 was absolutely phenomenal. It was a great start off. I thought it was gonna be a piece of cake, just based off week 1, obviously, right? So first, let's talk about what the coding class is, what the structure is, the setup, and give you guys all of the nuts and bolts of how everything works. I actually found out about this course on Codecademy's website. It was during, I think, Black Friday. I saw the course and I talked about it with somebody at work, and he literally turned me away from it because he was like, you have a lot of projects at work. This may be difficult. It's a lot going through an 18-week boot camp. So I thought about it, and then I was like, you know what? No, let me dive in head first in this. I want this, like, let me do it. Let me figure it out. Let me get a game plan together. Since I knew that it was going to be a difficult road for 18 weeks. So it's through Codecademy. The cost of it, I think I paid $600 or $700, which I thought was phenomenal for a boot camp, when all the other boot camps I was finding was anywhere in between $5,000 and $20,000. I thought, let me give it a go. It's through Codecademy, so that I know that it's a reputable company. It's 18 weeks, it's 3 days a week. It's Mondays and Wednesday nights from 5:30 to 8:30, and then Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So every week we do have a full syllabus. He runs through everything. He does require us to kind of do pre-work of, if you know that this is the topic of what's going to happen in class that day, then you kind of need to know a little bit about it. Like, go ahead and do a little bit of research to kind of get just that base level understanding. And then he runs through it, shows us how to code it. Here's your guided practice / homework for the day. And then on Saturdays, he usually gives us a project. We work on it together in class, and then we do like a big review. Week 1 consisted of everything for HTML. The structure of a website, the nuts and bolts, the text that you see, even the background information, what has to be coded for things you don't see. Figured all of that out. I did buy some coding books because I was like, of course, if you know me, you know I love to read. So I always need like a reading material that breaks down things. We had 40 people, which I think is huge for a class. Week 1 was only just 2 days. It started like on a Wednesday, so I only had that Wednesday and Saturday. Everything was truncated from when it was normally supposed to be a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Week 1 was only a Wednesday, Saturday. So he basically covered a lot, but luckily I had already taken sheet codes. I absolutely love sheet codes, y'all. Like, if that's something you are wanting to do self-paced, it is a great company. Definitely well worth the money. I just can't do self-paced. Like right now, me trying to learn, and like, it'll be different if I'm just not trying to kind of work towards something. I would go with that, but I needed something live. It helps hold me accountable. So I love all those things about this live boot camp through Codecademy. So let's talk about what's going well. So what went well this week was I showed up for myself, and that's all I can say went well. Everything else, I did get a little bit, it was like that Saturday when he kind of had to double down on more HTML code. He did a little bit of introducing us to CSS, just a tad bit to prep us for week 2. It was honestly a lot. It did get a little bit overwhelming, but I basically just took a break. And I did give up one day of like practicing. I will say, in order for me to get it where I am, first week, I had to devote an additional, on top of the 9 hours of class or the 6 hours for week 1, I had to do an additional 10 hours of like coding, practicing, trying to look at just regular websites and just in my mind, how's this code written, and then try to replicate things on my own, just the HTML part. Try to replicate things on my own and trying to figure out what goes here, you know, main and your header section and what's in the head part and the body and the footer, and just trying to remember what goes where, how do you do things. Let's talk about what did not go well. And I will say kind of everything did not go well, but it did. I mean, what didn't go well in week 1? In week 1, what didn't go well, what didn't smooth over well with me was when I knew how to place things. I figured out structure, you know, kept drawing it out, notes. My notes were terrible for week 1, but I learned quickly I need to become a better note taker when it comes to this. So I will say what did not go well was when it came time to name things as classes and attributes and IDs and stuff like that. I was like, baby, what? Huh? Yeah, it was a complete struggle. And then divs and spans, and it was just a mess, y'all. Like I could not I could not fathom. I was so stressed out, but that's totally fine. I still showed up, and I literally went to YouTube, watched a couple of videos for people who could dumb it down, and then I ended up going to ChatGPT. I ended up going to ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT, explain this to me like I'm a 10-year-old and dumb it down for me. And I was like, give me real world examples so I can understand it. And that was how I learned the difference between a div and a span and how to utilize them in classes and everything. And then I took great notes so I can memorize that. Or have it for reference material. But that is my week 1 of my coding bootcamp. And then if you're interested in following my journey, please do. Week 2, we are jumping into CSS basics, like I already said. And so I'm really excited about that because that's something where the design aspect of it, I feel like I'm gonna thrive, but I felt like I was gonna thrive in week 2. Just stay tuned to the next video. And if you want to subscribe, please do. Please comment. Let me know if you are already a software developer, you're an aspiring software developer, or you're just interested in my journey. Just comment. Let me know where you are in life. Let me know where you're from. And also, I'll comment back to you all. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.